Hey everyone, it's Fox from Model Making Guru here. Welcome to part 1 of our build of the Revell Maquis Raider. So, welcome to our next build. We're going a bit retro this time. Anyone who knows Star Trek will recognise the Maquis Raider from the beginning of the first episode of Voyager. I think it appeared a few times in DS9, and it may have appeared, but I'm not sure, in Next Generation once or twice. This is a semi-vintage kit. The Raider kit itself was originally released by Revell in around about, I think, 93, 94. Discontinued. And then was re-released in 2009. I think I've got those dates right. This is the 2009 kit. You can tell because if instead of using a shot of the actual film in miniature, they've used a not particularly brilliantly painted shot of their model with some really crappy Photoshop effects. I don't know if it's still in production. Now this kind of kit, I like buying the old kits. Today, if you wanted to get hold of one of the original releases, the 93, 94 I think it was, I could have those dates wrong, let me know in the comments if I have. If you wanted to get one today, you'd have to hunt around on eBay and other places, and you can go for, you can pay like 50, 60, 70 quid or more. The original release ones are quite rare now. I did make one of these way back in the day when they first came out. These ones, the 2009 versions, don't go for quite as much, but some people will try and price them the same as the early 90s versions. So for this kit you can really pay up to anything from 40 to 100 quid. However, if you're a little bit diligent, as I was in this case, for every rare kit that people stump up the price for, you will usually always find at least one tiny little hobby shop that usually just sells model railway stuff and diorama stuff and RC cars, and who don't really do much in the way of plastic kits, and they don't know anything about Star Trek, and they don't know anything about vintage kits, and they'll have it for a knockdown price, and they'll have like one in stock from 20 years ago. I managed to get this for £17.50, which I think was the original cost of it when it was released back in the early 90s. It's actually got the price label on there, if you can see that. And it's an old style stick-on price label that they used to stick on with the gun, so it shows you how small this model shop was. I won't name the model shop because I can't remember more than anything else, but I may want to buy more from them, so shh, it's my secret. But if you wanted to get an old kit, and it doesn't have to be Star Trek kit, any kit, and it's out of production, have a hunt around on eBay and everywhere else, but also check out the small, tiny little model shops that have websites that look like they were made on GeoCities in 1998. Somebody will have one on a shelf gathering dust because they bought it, or they ordered it, didn't really know what they got, and don't really sell much of it. So they'll be around. Anyway, this is really just an unboxing video. As I say, cover is basically a not particularly great shot of the Revell model with a particularly boring unweathered paint job, and you've also got a Kazon crappy ship in the background. I don't know what they were called, I can't remember, but they were a bit rubbish. Always surprised me with what Revell chose to make with their Star Trek license. They made the Voyager, and they made all like, you know, the Enterprises and stuff, but they made a Voyager kit, and they also made the Raider, and they made the Kazon thing, fighter, whatever it is. I don't know if they made any more. They kind of chose the weird ships. They chose the one ship that appeared for sort of 10 minutes at the start of the whole Voyager timeline and never appeared again. They chose a ship from an enemy, but nobody actually liked. And it's not a particularly interesting ship. And obviously they chose the Voyager. They didn't choose like the Delta Flyer or anything else that they could have got from the Voyager series. And what surprises me now is Next Generation and DS9 are still popular, but if you try and look for current Revell kits, it's basically Voyager. I mean, with all the ships they could choose from, they want to have some of the kits still around. They choose the Voyager ones. I mean, if I remember rightly, and this is my opinion, but I think it's fairly predominant, is that Voyager wasn't the best of the series. I mean, the Voyager's a good kit, but... So anyway, they kind of randomly chose this, I don't know why, and the Raider. But the Raider's a nice ship, so... right, let's get this on with it. Let's go on. It's got some product shots on the side, as you always have. And again, it's their uninspired, not particularly weathered in any way, shape or form shot. It's probably the prototype. They've not really filled any gaps, but that's always the way. Nice big box. 33.4 centimetres, apparently. Now, I have made one of these before, so I know what to expect. Let's get this unboxed so you can look at something else for a change. What have we got? I think that's everything. Instruction book. Typical Revell, black and white. Bit of blurb about the ship. Pages that inexplicably aren't stapled, so they kind of get lost and fall apart. And then we have parts, and as you can see, it is quite a nice big model. I'm remembering this from 20 odd years ago. It's not the best tooling in the world, but it is nice and crisp. It's got nice and crisp detail, so it's going to be fun painting and weathering this. The one thing I do sort of dislike about this kit, as seems to be always the way with Revell, is something that bugs me all the time. And anyone who's made the old, really vintage Enterprise A kits will know Revell have this habit, and AMT and Ertl and all the others who are all the same, habit of doing panel lines as raised, not recessed. And this is no exception. I'll bring this up to the camera so you can see it. Now I've changed my camera position now, so I have to stand up, so let's just get focused on that. If you can see on the nose there, I don't know if you can, the panel lines, they're raised, and it's like, oh, do you have to do that? Do you really have to do that? Could you not do grooved panel lines? I mean, it's got these panel lines here, but then these are raised. Now, I suspect the reason they've done that is for ease of painting, because these little panels are going to be different colours. So, yeah, I'll give them a credit on that one, I suppose. I say it's small. It's a big kit. It's not exactly got millions of pieces. And if I remember rightly, it does go together quite well. Quite a bit of seam around the edge though, so it's going to take some correcting on that. Let me just check my focus. There'll be a lot of seams to play with around the edge. Some of these seams are going to be a pain because you can't get in there really very easily around these side panels. But nice crisp detail. Can't really see any flash. I say crisp detail, some of the details are a bit woolly, but we can work with that. What else do we have? We have positively tens of pieces of some clear parts. And when I say positively tens, I think there's about 50 odd pieces in this, so let's get these out. Should have done this first, really. What do we have? We have the display stand, or the base of it, with the Maquis symbol. Then we have basically the entire pieces. This is it. Mostly wings and some hull details on the roof for the bridge area. And that is about it. It's not going to be a complicated build. It shouldn't take too long. I'm not planning on doing any customization to this. I'm just going to build it straight out of the box. I'm not going to be lighting it because I don't really do lighting really. It's not really my bag. Not quite sure how I'm going to do the glowy parts. So these, the intakes and the engines at the back, the exhausts, the glowy bits for what would be nacelles and other ships. So I'm not sure about that yet, but we'll have a think. So anyway, yeah, that's going to be quite a simple build. Look at the instructions. Usual how to use our instructions guides. Paint list, which I'll completely ignore because I'm using not any of their paints. I'm using Tamiya colours. I'll do it by eye. Simple breakdown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. There's 9 steps. There's obviously steps in each step, but there's not millions of steps. So not exactly a complicated build. And then some painting instructions, which is quite good. They're giving you all the different... Well, theoretically they're giving you all the colours for all the different panels, but they've left so much detail off that it says, like, one bit here says dry brush. Well, which bit am I dry brushing? Am I doing the whole panel? Is the panel a different colour? So we might have to wing it anyway. There aren't a lot of shots of the studio model around, so for reference, but I'll see what I can find. And that's really it. So not a complicated build. We'll probably be able to do most of the build in like one video or something, or 1 or 2 videos. This won't be a big long drawn out thing like my Viper. Right. So I will start getting bits taken off, and when we come back we'll start gluing some stuff together.